Hey Stamp friends, welcome to the Joy Stamp with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon, and today we're making a fun fold using the Throughout the Year stamp set to create this fun fold here. I'm always in need of masculine cards, so I thought this was a great fun fold that wasn't too fluffy or frilly, that we can use any designer series paper to create. I like that it's the happiest of birthdays, which came from the stamp set right here. It opens up to reveal a nice spot to write all of your fun messages. All right, let me go ahead and show you the pieces you'll need. Be sure to refer to the link below for my blog for all the measurements and for the supplies to make this card in your own home. Also, if you're watching, please leave me a comment. I love hearing from you. One lucky person that comments will get the fun fold that we make in the video today. All right, so we're using a crumb cake card base. And then we do have a punch out the amazing heart-filled hexagon. I think that's what that one's called. Let me go ahead and get my bone folder so we'll get this nice and ready. That designer series paper is called Country Woods. I want to make sure I was going to say it right. So you'll need 2 pieces of designer series paper. You can have on either way. I think we'll keep it as is, where that is our main DSP for the front. And then you'll see that I have this corner piece here that we'll use for our little flap that comes out. However, I do want to tell you that this part was a rectangle at one point, and all I had to do was go from one corner to the next to cut it to create 2 pieces, and then you can make 2 cards. All right, let's do our stamping first, so that's out of the way, and then we have a lot of fun cutting and scoring to do. So I'll grab my paper trimmer in for that. So let's do our stamping onto our hexagon. Super simple. I'm using the Misty Moonlight because that's part of the color combos we have on our designer series paper, but you can use any stamp set you have that matches with yours. Double check happiest birthdays. Oh, make sure that's not too juicy. If so, we'll flip it over. Happiest birthdays. Nope, that turned out great. So June is my dad's birth month. I would love to know when your guys celebrate your dad. So my dad gets celebrated twice in 1 month, which is always fun, right? Sometimes his birthday even falls on Father's Day. So I like to have 2 cards for him, fairly different from each other. So this month might be his for the year. Okay, first what we need to do is go ahead and measure on our card base. Oops, sorry, bone folder flop. So we're going to take our paper trimmer over here, and I like to use it as my ruler as well. And we're measure 2 inches from the front of our card base here. So the easiest way to do that for me is to do subtract math. So this is a 5.5, so I'm going to go down to my 3.5 right here. And then where the track lies for when I usually cut, I'll put a mark right here. And then I can double check it by lining it up again and say, is that the 2-inch mark? And sure enough, it is. Okay, then what we're gonna take is open up your card base, because we only want 1 piece of paper here. We're gonna take our paper trimmer, which is the light gray on this one. Sorry, paper score, which is the light gray. And we're gonna line up our mark right here at the 2-inch to our score corner right here, okay? This is gonna be a fold over, so we don't wanna cut it, we want to score it. Make sure it's lined up nice. Press down and score. Okay, that looks pretty good. So all we have to do then is grab this one and start the fold nicely. Grab your bone folder and make it even better. Perfect. There we go. Looking good. Next, we're going to start with our mat. So we're going to lay our mat over our card base here. And we're going to do some guesstimating. That's kind of like an educated guess, right? There's not exact measurement for this one, so you just have to kind of play with it. But what we want to have happen is I'm going to go ahead, line it right there, about 1/16 of an inch. So we're going to create a little border from where that one is there. And then same thing for this guy here. We'll create a little spot here. Okay. Then we'll do a nice little cutting for this one. So mark to the mark in our paper trimmer. Line it up on the track. There's that mark for this guy. This time we are cutting, so grab your paper trimmer blade, which is the dark one. You want to start in the middle. It's always hard to catch that edge sometimes, especially if it's the exact corner. Luckily, it's not the exact corner for this one, but it's nicer usually to start in the middle, so it's a nice fresh cut there. Okay, let's see how this measures out to that DSP that we have previously cut. If we can find it, watch, it's underneath here. I had it just a second ago. Oh, yep, underneath all the pieces. Sorry. Okay, now let's see how this measures up to this guy here. We might need to do a flip over. There we go. If it looks pretty good, then we are good to go. If not, we can do a little bit of trimming. So I'm just placing on there. I feel like this one is just a little bit, doesn't have enough of an edge right here. So I'm going to take this in my paper trimmer, and I'm very carefully, again, starting in that middle of the paper and not on the ends, and just do a little sliver of a cut there. Let's see if that made it just a nicer fit. And sure enough, it did. Okay, a lot of guesstimating here, you guys. We're just gonna be crazy paper cutters. Then we're gonna take our piece of card base and we're gonna say, hey, wait a minute, this looks like it's gonna have, it's not gonna fold over nicely and have a border on the bottom here. So I'm gonna take this bottom and also do about a 1/16 of an inch, not too much. That first little line there. Trim that part off. And now we'll line it up and say, wow, look, we have a nice border now. Perfect. See how we have all those three sides? Now we grab our designer series paper and do some cutting here. So what you can do is line it up on here. And I'm going to go right here about that 1/16. And I'm going to go right here just below where that cardstock is. So we'll go right about there. Put that in my paper trimmer. We're using each piece for the next piece, kind of to measure upon measure. So the order of this one is important and which one you do first. Okay. Save that piece for something fun. And see how we did on our paper cutting here. 1 second, let's get that back together. And that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Awesome. We are ready to assemble now that we've done all of our cutting. See, a lot of it is just kind of playing with that paper trimmer and taking a little piece by little piece off. These two pieces are for the inside of our card. So we're going to put a little bit of liquid glue. This is that new basic beige. Oh, this one's almost gone. Let me get my new one. There we go. Liquid glue. And piece these two together. The sample I saw with this one was really cute. It had a cute punch image, and then they had like a floral collection there. So if you have an image that you like, it could be those little cool tools that we have to make it a little bit more masculine, or it could be something beachy looking if your birthday friend loves beaches, whatever your person likes that you're making this card for. I'm keeping mine fairly plain. I didn't even embellish. I was trying to think like, ooh, what kind of embellishments could I use on this? And I just couldn't decide, so I was happy with leaving it plain. But you can always embellish as well. Okay, for this one, you're gonna notice that my top up here is way like off, right? That's not a very awesome measurement there. But I'm not too worried because I'm looking at these sides, which are gonna be seen. This is gonna be covered by the flap. So you'll see in just a minute that it will not matter. The important part is that we do put this part on before we get back to the next step. So liquid glue this one down. While we're at it, we'll get that inside ready to go too. So slide that in. That's why liquid glue is important because it gives us that wiggle. And then I'm just gonna look at this with my eyes to see the distance on the sides that we need. I could even push this one up a little bit more. There we go, and slide it over until it looks like it has nice spacing all around. That looks awesome. Okay, let's glue the inside before we let that glue dry. And if you want to, you could totally stamp something else in the inside here. Just be mindful of the space that's gonna be shown. So this part here will be visible from the front when it's closed. So make sure that spot is doing good and doesn't have anything stamped on there. All right, lastly, let's just glue this part. Sorry, I just got my breath caught there. And I apologize if you can hear my background noise right now. We have construction at our gate guard. And so I was trying to record in between like their lunch times so that way we wouldn't have any loud noises. But if you hear it, just know men are hard at work right now, so it's not a bad thing, just a loud thing. All right, liquid glue on this one. Try to get to that tip there. Flip it and stick it on here. Oh my goodness, this is looking so cool. I just love this. It kind of reminds me of like a collared t-shirt, if you think of that. I do like to have mine closed down, so open this part back up. We're gonna put a dimensional here and a dimensional there. You can probably get away with one if you really wanted, because that will secure it down so it lays nice. And then for this one, we're gonna put dimensional only on one side of it, right there. And then we can do a little bit of liquid glue on this side, just make sure it stays secure, or even a glue dot would work as well. And place that where we want it. Okay, oh, did I remove the backing? Nope, I didn't. That's why it didn't stick. There we go. Oh my goodness. Such a fun fold. And there's so many different combinations you can make with this as far as color schemes go and embellishments and all that fun. It's funny, look, I totally did opposite for my DSP here. I have the dark, the light, the pink, the blue, and the gray, and the white on the other sides there. So two same but slightly different cards. I hope you guys have had a fun time learning how to make this card. Don't be afraid of your paper trimmer. Use it. Use your best guess. It turns out beautiful, and because of that flap, it kind of hides away some of our flaws that we otherwise would have. Have a great weekend and happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.